This is SCAC Baseball Media Days, and joining us is the defending SCAC champion, Trinity University Tigers, head coach Tim Scannell, junior infielder Connor Moore, joining us this afternoon. And first of all, gentlemen, we thank you so much for taking the time out today to discuss the upcoming season.
Thanks for having us, James.
Thank you.
Coach, let me start with you, and let me just simply ask what your expectations are for 2015. Obviously, this has been a program that has seen a lot of success in the past decade or so. So what are your expectations going into this new year?
Well, I think, it's something that we don't really like to put on our guys is an expectation level. I think a lot of teams when you put an expectation level on them, they try and play to that, and then sometimes play tight, and then certainly if things don't go well, they feel like they're failing. So our basic concept is to just work hard every day, practice hard, get a ton of reps in, and then we know that a baseball team is always a work in progress. We really want to grow through the year and hopefully peak come the SCAC playoff time. So we're just, we're not a big expectation group, but this group is talented and working hard, and that's where we're at right now.
Connor, let me ask you, throughout the preseason, even going back maybe to fall ball, and then throughout January as you get ready to open the regular season next weekend, what are some things you've seen throughout the preseason? Tell me some things you've seen that you really like so far about this team.
I think one thing that separates us from the past few years is that each practice we're coming out and coach has given us something new to work on and everything, and there's not really any complaints going on, and everyone's just kind of there to get the work done, and everyone's kind of focused on taking each practice as getting better and improving on something in any aspect.
Coach, I want to ask you the same thing from a coach's perspective. What have you seen so far from this team throughout the offseason and going into the preseason as well?
Well, I think, before we started in the fall, we had big question marks on what the leadership of this team would be. We've been really lucky for about 3 or 4 years now with tremendous player-led leadership. And ever since that happened, our team has gotten a little bit better each year. But we lost some big players last year. And in baseball, when you win up the middle, that's where our talent was last year. We have Chris Bianchi, who just signed with the Dodgers. We got Christian Muscarello at short, playing with the St. Louis Cardinals. You got Pat Hirschberg, one of the best players to ever play here. He's departed. You got a pro pitcher in Kyle Bogeese playing with the Phillies. So we lost a lot up the middle. But what bothered us, or what we were most concerned with, was leadership. And we're really a junior-built class. We have some great senior pitching, but our positional players are junior. It's a junior-built class. We addressed them about it day one. We said we're concerned with it. These guys took the ball, and they've never looked back. I'm so pleased with the leadership of Connor and Carter McGeckern and Austin Singer, Jeremy Wolf, Nick Jewett. I mean, it goes on in that junior class, and they've laid down a foundation of hard work and excitement and energy, and so we're unbelievably pleased and thankful for that.
Connor, I'm going to come back to you, and hearing your coach talk about the leadership is kind of a perfect segue to a question I had for you. And just tell me about how important it is to you to emerge as one of those leaders, being one of the juniors on this team among a large junior class. How important is it for you to emerge as one of those leaders?
I think it's hugely important for me. I mean, coming up as a freshman, playing second base, and just kind of being around the senior leadership that we had while I was a freshman, just kind of seeing how those guys ran the team and everything, and kind of now segueing into our junior year where it's our team now. It's like Coach said, it's a junior class pretty much is leading the team, and for me personally, it's a great honor to be a part of this team and to help lead it this year.
Coach, again, as you just touched on about the leadership, a good group of seniors, but a small group of seniors. You really see a lot of depth in the junior class. Just tell me how important and how vital it is for these guys to continue to emerge as leaders throughout the season for the team's success.
Well, I think it's just been established. It's really that simple. Is that they've just done such a great job taking care of all the small details, weightlifting, early work, how they approach practice. And then as young as we are positionally, it's definitely a senior-led pitching class with Nick Griffith and Matt Tyndall, Trent Rape. It's no question a senior-led pitching staff, and they're doing the same leadership and maybe even better than the positional players on the pitching side of things. So leadership, you can never get too much of it, but it's established right now, and we're just looking to kind of stay steady and not get too excited and not peak, and just kind of have a blue-collar workman's approach to every practice. Games, they'll take care of themselves. We're going to win some games. We're definitely going to lose some games. But if we're focusing on getting better at practice, this team could be very good at the end of the year.
Connor, it's a simple question, but just tell me about the excitement level among yourself and among this team, just to get started with a new season here soon. You guys are right around the corner, opening up next weekend. Just describe to me the excitement level around the team.
We're all very excited. I think it's clearly shown in our energy level coming out to practice every day. There's a lot of yelling going on, a lot of fun, hard work ethic by everyone, and I think everyone's just really excited to get the year going, and it's becoming more and more evident as we get closer and closer to that date.
This is SCAC Baseball Media Days. We're here with the Trinity University Tigers head coach Tim Scannell and junior infielder Connor Moore this afternoon. Coach Scannell, let's break the team down a little bit. You touched on it just a little bit when talking about your leaders and your seniors and the pitchers. Tell me a little bit about your pitchers and your catchers on this team and how they're going to impact this team in 2015.
Well, I think obviously, every year, every team, every level, when it comes to baseball, it comes down to pitching. And, we feel like we have depth on the mound, but we feel like we need a true number one to emerge. And by a number one, that's the guy that could potentially win a 1-0, 2-1 ball game against another team's number one. The depth of the staff is definitely there. But you can't get to depth if you're losing, first games of series or tournaments. So that just needs to play out. And the number one emerges when they can, pound the zone with strikes, when they can throw secondary pitches for strikes, when they can put hitters away with good chase pitches, so on and so forth. So, we just got to keep practicing, continue with inter squads, play some games, and let the pitching staff take shape. Positionally, it's back to that junior theme. McGeckern has become a really polished third baseman with a lot of experience. Connor will move over to shortstop. Ironically, Connor will leave a big defensive gap at second because he was a phenomenal second baseman, but his true position is shortstop, and we're incredibly excited to see him handle that position. He's a plus defender, and that's going to solidify things in the infield. We feel like Colin Strakowski will have a real good chance to play significant innings at second base, as well as a transfer infielder that we have that we feel will do the same. First base will be a more of a number of guys with T.J. Garhart and Nick Jewett getting the first cracks at it. That'll come down to bats and offensive production. And then in the outfield, we have two junior players that have been just licking their chops to get in the lineup for 2 years, and we feel like those two guys are ready to have big years for us in Andrew Waters and Brody Femmel. So, positionally, that's what we'll be dealing with. There are guys that'll compete off the bench, and things are always fluid. If you're outperforming another player, you're going to be in that lineup and playing. And we also have Drew Butler, who'll move behind the plate full time, and he's a gamer. He's a tough-minded kid and a very good offensive bat.
Connor, let me turn to you as one of the infielders, shortstop on this team. I just want to get your thoughts and from your perspective, what you've seen, especially from the infielders. What have you seen from that group, working with them day in and day out? What have you seen, and what do you expect from this group?
I expect us to be very strong infield based off of what I've seen. Every day we're coming out, taking fungos, working together, communicating, and it's kind of right now. I think there's no problem with the fundamentals as far as fielding a ground ball, throwing it. I think right now it's just it's coming down to just meshing together well, and especially up the middle, whether it's me and Colin or me and Pepe. We need to just get the communication down and just mesh well together as an infield, but that's coming along great so far.
Coach, touch a little bit on your outfielders as well, and what you've seen from them so far as a group.
I think it's again, back to that theme, it's a junior-driven outfield, and you've got Jeremy Wolf, who's coming off a great summer in the Coastal Plains League, where he's first team all center fielder. Last 2 years, he's played left field for us. But with the emergence and the opportunities available for Femmel and Andrew Waters, it's basically a four-person outfield until other people prove to be different. And so we're looking at Wolf, we're looking at Austin Singer, another returning starter, great ball player, Brody Femmel, and Andrew Waters. And so we're going to have to, the one problem we have this year is we're going to have to juggle some things and ask guys to play different positions in order to cycle guys through lineups and see who's, production-wise worthy of starting, if you will. And so Wolf will have to see some time at DH, and we're just going to have to be a little creative in moving guys around and balancing some lineups and giving guys opportunities. But that outfield is a four-man group, and again, scrimmage, play, live time performance will dictate who starts.
Coach, we've talked a lot about your seniors and, of course, your big junior class positionally. Tell me just a little bit, a quick thing about your newcomers, just what they've brought to this team as a group coming in this year.
It's a really impressive freshman class. It's small in numbers, but it's a really impressive group. What I find, different is that Trinity historically has always played lots of freshmen, and this year it's going to be tough for a freshman to break through. But again, we always have the same platform of everyday work, scrimmage opportunities, and in scrimmage is where we find our starters. So any freshman that starts to bang the ball or plays consistently, they'll get in the lineup. I think that freshman class is led by players like Joey Pecoraro, Sam Neely, Zach Oretsky, and then we have two real good pitchers in Kaufman and Wimberly. These are talented kids, and certainly on the pitching side of things, those guys are going to be very competitive early. And I really feel that Pecoraro, Neely, and Oretsky will get playing time. How much will depend on how good their bats are.
The Trinity Tigers were ranked number 16 in the D3Baseball.com polls, and they will open up on February 6, 2015 in San Antonio, Texas, against the University of Texas at Tyler. This has been SCAC Baseball Media Days here with head coach Tim Scannell and junior infielder Connor Moore. And again, gentlemen, we appreciate your time this afternoon, and we wish you and the rest of the team good luck in 2015.